The Supreme Court on Monday handed a sweeping win to former President Donald Trump by ruling that state cannot kick him off the ballot over his action leading up to the January 6th attack on the Capitol, bringing a swift end to a case with huge implications for the 2024 election. In an unsigned ruling with no dissent, the court reversed the Colorado Supreme Court, which had determined that Trump could not serve again as president under the Section 3 of the Constitution's 14th Amendment. The provision prohibits those who previously held government positions but later engaged in insurrection from running for various offices. The court said the Colorado Supreme Court had wrongly assumed that states can determine whether a presidential candidate or other candidate for federal office is ineligible. The ruling makes it clear that Congress, not state, has to set rule on how the 14th Amendment provision can be enforced against federal office seeker. As such, the decision applies to all states, not just Colorado. States retain the power to bar people running for a state office for appearing on the ballot under Section 3 because the Constitution makes Congress rather than the state responsible for enforcing Section 3 against all federal office holder and candidates, will reverse, the ruling said. By deciding the case on that legal question, the court avoided any analysis of determination of whether Trump's action constituted an insurrection. The decision comes just a day before the Colorado primary. Minutes after ruling, Trump hailed the decision in all capital letter posts on a social media site, writing, "Big win for America." Also, despite the widespread blackout and the worsening state of electricity supply in Nigeria, the latest figuring on the daily load summary of power distribution companies indicate that the firm failed to distribute about 1,769.91 megawatt of electricity between February 1 and 14, 2024. Data from the Transmission Company of Nigeria obtained in Abuja on Monday showed that though some of the power firms received excess electricity load allocation during the period, most of them failed to utilize all the quantum of energy allocated to them by the TCN. Nigeria's power situation grew worse since January this year, forcing the Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, to declare on Saturday that some power firm and TCN had been summoned to provide reasons for the worsening state of electricity supply in their region. Adelabu also pointed out that investigation by the Power Ministry showed that some power distribution companies were rejecting electricity despite the scarce supply of the commodity. Findings reveal that some distribution companies were deliberately not taking up power supply from TCN, while some power lines were also damaged by vandals in Abuja, Benin, Port Harcourt, and Ibadan region, Adelabu stated in a statement issued in Abuja. Worried by the poor electricity supply situation, the Power Minister had, in a letter signed by the Director, Distribution Service at the Federal Ministry of Power, BU, Mustafa, ordered the CEOs of Abuja and Ibadan discos as well as TCN to attend a meeting called by Adelabu this week. They will discuss issues bordering on worsening electricity supply in their region with a view to prefer a lasting solution. A statement by Bolaji Tunji, Special Advisor, Strategic Communication and Media Relation to the Minister, stated on Saturday. Adelabu was quoted as saying that the management of other non-performing discos would also be queried over non-performance as reports continue to filter in on the situation in their region. These two discos have been summoned due to the worsening power supply situation in the regions, despite improved supply from TCN, the Power Minister stated. According to the statement, gas shortage notwithstanding, the ministry had been putting pressure on the power generating companies to improve performance, and generation had been ramped up to over 4,000 megawatts in recent days. So, it is expected the power supply to have improved across the country, unlike what it is being experienced in some regions presently, the minister said. Moving on, Nigeria's external debt has increased by 28 tons due to the devaluation of the Naira against the United States dollar, findings by the Punch reveal. According to the latest debt profile data published by the Debt Management Office, Nigeria's total debt stood at 87.38 ton at the end of the third quarter of 2023. The total external debt constituted 31.9 trillion naira, owed to foreign entities, which included loans from financial agencies, Eurobonds, and syndicate loans, among others. A breakdown of the data shows that Nigeria's external debt span across the multilateral loan owed to the likes of International Monetary Fund, International Development Association, African Development Bank, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. They also include bilateral loans such as the 4.8 billion pounds owed to the Exim Bank of China and 563 million pounds owed to the Agent Francaise Development. Cumulatively, Nigeria's external debt totaled £41.5 billion as of September 30, 2023, the last debt profile data published by the DMO. Finally, the organized private sector has expressed concern about the spate of looting of truck conveying food and raw material by suspected hoodlums, warning that it can lead to shutdown of industries across the country. Member of the OPS gave the warning on Monday in a separate interview with the Punch, just as migrants attacked trucks conveying building materials and spaghetti in Ogun State and Kaduna State. Also on Monday, the federal government said it would start the distribution of free grains to the state this week. Several trucks and warehouses, mostly owned by manufacturers and other members of the OPS, have come under attack from hoodlums as the food inflation and the cost of living crisis worsen across the country. The organized private sector has expressed concern about the spate of looting truck conveying all of this food across the country. Also, on Monday, the federal government I'll take that again. Several truck and warehouses, mostly owned by manufacturer and other members of the OPS, have come under attack from hoodlums as the food inflation and the cost of living worsen across the country. And that's the Flip TV Morning News. I am Anila Omolara. Thanks for staying with us.